Out on the vast, unforgiving plains of the American frontier, where the sun beats down and the wind whispers secrets of a time long past, a man's story unfolds. This isn't a tale of gunslingers and grand battles, but a quiet, powerful journey of the heart. His name is Cole Tanner, a man who thought he had lost everything only to find that the truest treasures are not sought in the distance, but built in the stillness of where we stand. Imagine a life stripped bare. For Cole, the silence of the prairie wasn't just an absence of noise. It was the deafening echo of loss. His past was a ghost that rode alongside him, a constant reminder of a life that had crumbled to dust. He sought refuge in solitude, believing that if he distanced himself from the world, he could distance himself from the pain. He built a small cabin, a fortress against memory, surrounded by an ocean of grass that stretched to the horizon. Days bled into weeks, weeks into months. He worked the land, his hands calloused, his spirit weary. The rhythm of his life was the rising sun and the setting moon, a predictable cycle that offered a fragile sense of order in the chaos of his grief. But the frontier, for all its harshness, has a way of healing. It doesn't offer easy answers, it offers moments. A hawk circling high above, a field of wildflowers blooming after a rare rain, the steady, patient gaze of his horse, old Jed. These small details began to chip away at the walls he had built around his heart. He learned that stillness wasn't emptiness, it was a space to breathe, to listen. Not to the ghosts of yesterday, but to the pulse of the life still within him. He started to understand that strength wasn't about enduring the storm, but about learning to find shelter within himself. One day, a wagon appeared on the horizon, a fragile vessel in the vast emptiness. In it were Sarah and her young son, Leo, their journey interrupted by a broken wheel and dwindling hope. Cole, accustomed to his isolation, was wary. Helping them meant letting the world back in, with all its potential for complication and heartache. But looking into the boy's wide, trusting eyes and seeing the quiet resilience in Sarah's face, he couldn't turn them away. He offered them shelter, a temporary respite that would unknowingly alter the course of his life forever. Their presence filled the silence of his cabin with sounds he'd long forgotten: the murmur of conversation, the spark of laughter, the simple melody of a shared meal. Leo, with his boundless curiosity, saw the world not as a place of loss, but of wonder. He'd follow Cole through the fields, asking 1,000 questions about the land, the animals, the stars. Through the boy's eyes, Cole began to see the prairie not as a place of exile, but as a home, vibrant and full of life. Sarah, with her gentle strength and unwavering kindness, saw past the grizzled exterior to the man beneath. She didn't pry into his past. She simply accepted him as he was, offering a companionship that asked for nothing in return. Slowly, painstakingly, Cole began to rebuild. He wasn't just fixing a wagon wheel, he was mending the broken pieces of his own spirit. He taught Leo how to mend a fence, and in doing so, he learned to mend the boundaries around his own heart. He shared stories of the stars with Sarah under the vast open sky, and in her quiet listening, he found a space to finally voice the sorrows he had carried alone for so long. He realized that forgiveness wasn't a pardon he needed from others, but a gift he had to give himself. Forgiving himself for not being able to change the past was the key that unlocked the prison of his grief. The day came when the wagon was repaired. The unspoken question hung in the air, heavy as a summer storm. Would they leave? Would he let them? Standing there, with the wind whipping through his hair, Cole looked at the cabin he had built as a refuge from the world. He looked at Sarah and Leo, who had turned that refuge into a home. He understood then, with a clarity that cut through all the years of pain, that peace wasn't a destination he had to ride towards. It was right here. It was the choice to stay, the courage to love, and the grace to begin again. Cole Tanner's story is a profound lesson whispered on the wind of the Old West. It reminds us that our deepest wounds can become our greatest sources of strength. It teaches us that every sunset, no matter how lonely, is followed by the promise of a sunrise. Peace isn't something we find out there, in some distant, imagined future. It's something we build, right where we are, with the pieces we have. It's the quiet strength we discover in stillness, the freedom we find in forgiveness, and the beautiful, simple truth that every ending is just a new beginning waiting to be born. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the heart of the frontier. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more tales that explore the depths of the human spirit. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Until next time, take care.